So with these horrible fires in LA going on, I've been thinking about the idea that they say that terrible things oftentimes come in threes. So let's go back and look first of all at the hurricanes earlier or late in 2024. Hurricane Helene, which did just unbelievable amounts of damage. I mean, it wiped out entire communities and destroyed so much. It was unreal. And then only a few days later, we had Hurricane Milton, also bearing right down on Florida. And the amount of destruction that it did there um, was really bad. I have a friend that lives in Tampa, and he was almost wiped out by Helene. And then right behind it was Milton. Fortunately, he didn't get completely wiped out, and he did survive it. But then, as if that wasn't bad enough, now we're dealing with these fires in Los Angeles. Unbelievable. The amount of destruction, the loss of property, the loss of life, um, the dislocation of people. It is beyond description to understand this kind of destruction. But something even bigger is coming because I believe we might possibly see number three, which would be the Cascadian Subduction Zone earthquake. Now, this is something that wasn't even known about until sometime in the 80s, that the San Juan de Fuca plate is diving beneath the North American plate, and about every 300 years, the pressure builds up and it lets loose with a massive, massive earthquake, 9.0, maybe even higher. And this is a 650-mile long fault line. This isn't going to be just relegated to a small area. It's going to happen from Vancouver, BC, all the way down to Northern California. They believe it could be anywhere from a 9.0 to a 9.3. And if you want to get an idea of what that's like, look at the 1964 Fairbanks, Alaska earthquake. Just look at what this did. I mean, can you imagine if this had happened in LA before the fires? How would any first responders be able to get anywhere? Well, this is going to be happening, like I said, from Vancouver to Northern California. And just look how close it is to the shore. That means that giant tsunami is only going to be maybe 20, 25 minutes behind the earthquake. And you're going to see these beautiful cities like Vancouver, BC, and Seattle, Washington, which is one of my favorite places. In fact, in 1962, when the World's Fair opened up, I went up that Space Needle less than a week after it had initially opened. But yeah, Seattle will get flooded. The water is going to come all the way through the Puget Sound, and it's going to all go all the way down. It'll hit Tacoma, it'll hit Olympia, and then you know, yeah, there's Tacoma, beautiful place. And then, of course, my hometown of Portland, Oregon, is not going to be spared. Remember, this earthquake is only about 200 miles west. All those bridges will come down in a few moments, and who knows how many buildings are going to come down, because a good number of them were built before we knew we lived in an active seismic zone. And then you look at the coastal towns. I love Seaside, one of my favorite places. But you see that little river? That separates the ocean from high ground, which is about 3 miles east. And if you're on the ocean side of that river, when those bridges come down, you will never make it on foot 3 miles to those mountains. And there are a fair number of people believe that this is Mount St. Helens right there in 1980. There's Mount Rainier. And of course, we've got Oregon's Mount Hood. But these are all dormant volcanoes. And some people believe it could cause them to become active again. I mean, that would be great. Just earthquake, tsunami, and volcanoes. Yeah. The Pacific Northwest, I always thought it was one of the nicest, safest places to live. But when it comes down to it, it may end up being the worst place a person could live. So take care of one another and always think about the things in life that are really important. And please do support Shriners Hospital. Those little kids really need some love and some help.